Well, today is the day when I'll be doing my 6,000 mile service on the Triumph Tiger. This is going to be the first maintenance I've ever done on this bike, and I'm going to start with the oil change. What I've done is I've gone ahead and looked at the service manual, and I've actually transferred the maintenance schedule onto a spreadsheet. And that way I can cut and paste various items that I'm doing when I do my own maintenance, put them on a separate worksheet in this workbook, and then I can record what I did, right? So it's all digitized, ready for me to actually follow this schedule, but also record it in this spreadsheet. The main thing for the 6,000 mile service is the oil change. So let's see what my what my dash says for this bike. 540 miles to the next service, 4/8/24. But it says that's 120 days. Today is the, I don't know, I put the date up on the screen. I don't even remember what it is. I think it's the 6th because the eclipse is on Monday and that's supposedly the 8th. So American style, that reads 8th of April 2024. But 8th of April 2024 is 2 days away. So if it says 120 days, then it's probably reading 4th of August 2024. Anyway. I am going to be doing that service now because the mileage is at 6,000 miles. It's just over 6,000 miles. The bike is totally cold. So what I'm going to do is for the first time go ahead and remove the engine guard. And once I do that, then I'll run the engine for a while, get the oil up to temperature. I'll do the oil change. And after that, I'll check for leaks. Then I'll put this back on. And then I'll reset the service light. To remove the engine guard, you've got to use an 8mm hex socket on these two screws here. And then underneath, there's two more underneath there in this hole and that hole. So these two holes have 8mm hex screws in them. Here's the first tip. It's easier to get this off if you remove the screws underneath first and then you remove this after, as opposed to removing this first, because then the thing will want to fall as you're trying to remove the screws from underneath. Here's the inside of the shield or the engine guard. Be aware that there are bushings. You see there are rubber grommets here, and then there's a steel bushing on each one of these. So don't let those fall out and get lost. The four screws are essentially all the same length. So, and they weren't very tight. So just wrist tight when you put them back. It should be good enough. Now the placement of the filter is such that when you take this filter off, it's going to make an unholy mess on this exhaust header. So what I like to do is to pass some foil underneath to protect the header from undue oil deposits. So you just got to figure out how to put this the best as you can. The oil is going to come from here and it's going to go straight down, but it's going to probably want to go on all of that too. So that's a pain in the butt. You're going to have to just wipe all of this off. I cover this up usually, and that'll minimize the amount of cleanup that I've got to do afterwards. So at this point, I'm going to go turn the bike on, run it for a few minutes, and let the engine warm up. And then I'm going to reach under there on the drain. So I'm going to take this off, actually, because I probably can't see that drain plug. Get under there, drain the oil from the bottom, and then when I'm ready, I'm going to put my foil and then, take the filter off. Now time to remove the drain plug. 8mm hex. This is tightened to 25 Newton meters. So when we need to tighten it back, that's the number to remember. Now I hope this is not going to come down with a big splash. So you slacken it off. Sometimes it comes down with such a force that it causes a big splash. So I'm gonna just try and minimize this gush by unscrewing and pushing it up and then minimizing the splash. Okay, good. Not so bad on this bike. We also want to see where that get that washer off, oil drain plug washer. I don't see any washer here, so it must be still underneath there. I'm going to have a feel for that. Try and pull that off. Yeah, I can feel it. Come on. Oh man, there it is. So there's this washer. Now this washer, some of the washers that you get for the drain plug, they're kind of like hollow and they compress, and those definitely, and they flatten. So those definitely have to be replaced, but you can get by with using this same washer again, because I can tell you something here. I did get a washer from the dealer for this bike to do this oil change, but the washer looks exactly like this. There's no compression with this, it's just a little aluminum washer. So if you clean this up and reuse this, no problem, right? As long as the thickness is the same, you still got that expansion, expandability, and it can be reused. Now, what I didn't do before I started this is open the filler cap. And opening the filler cap allows the atmospheric pressure to enter the engine from above and help to drain it a little bit better. I'm going to go open that up now and leave the camera running. Let's see if anything else comes out. So the oil filler cap is completely off now. Nothing else really came out, but I'm going to leave that there. Let us now put our foil, aluminum foil, in place, and then take that filter off. When you're putting in the foil, you've got to make sure that the bottom part of the foil is out of the way, because if it's not angled right, then the oil will go all over the place. Don't ask me how I know. Okay? Stuff the foil in there. Don't be afraid. Stuff it in there and then wrap it around. Wrap it around, get it out of the way, like that. Now to get this thing off, you need a wrench. I've got one of these things. I think this particular one I only used once in my life, because the very first time I tried to use it on a filter, it slipped. And so I've started using K&N filters, which have a built-in nut. But for this first oil change, I says, oh well, let me use the genuine Triumph filter. So that's what I got, is a genuine Triumph filter. Let's see if this slips. So far, not slipping. Okay, it looks like it'll work. This, no, the damn thing doesn't want to come off. And that's a good thing in the sense that, as you can see, the oil is starting to seep out and it's not gushing out and going all over the place. So you can take it out slowly. As a matter of fact, by taking it out slowly, that stream of oil coming out is so small that it's not gonna really make a huge mess on that part here that I was talking about before. So let's unscrew this with the wrench on still, and then be careful when it wants to fall off, because then the oil could potentially kind of gush a little bit forward. Okay, it's ready to come off now. All right, I don't know if you can see all that in the shot. There we go. How neat is that, eh? Look at this. Is this in the shot? Hopefully it is. The foil is doing its job. Now I just got to worry about getting my wrench off of this filter, and it's kind of stuck on there. This is going to drain for a little while, so now is a good time to actually get prepared for filling up and the rest of the operation. I'll try and rock this off. Man. Now one of the things I like to do is to write on the new filter the number of miles when I change the oil and also the date. So 6th April, Hopefully this thing is not dried out. 6, oh. It's not so good. 6A, actually, this is not writing very well. This is supposed to be paint. 6 April 24. 6 April 24, 6, 0, 3. Last time I used this marker, it wrote beautifully. But that was a while ago on the RS. Use a little bit of the oil from the old oil, it doesn't matter. Just putting it on the gasket here. So I got a little bit of oil on the gasket. Then I've just got to take this dripping, clean up this area here a little bit. Notice I haven't taken my file off yet. Do that towards the end. Spin this filter on. Make sure you don't cross thread it, of course. So you spin that on, and then you can pull this thing off. Now, the torque on this is supposed to be 10 Newton meters. I don't have my torque wrench out yet. So I'll do that after, when I put my oil drain plug back in, because I've got to torque that up as well. So lay my, I don't know if you can see, but there's only a little bit of oil right on that part of the engine. That's it. There's no oil in here, of course, and there's no oil anywhere else. Clean. I like that. And there's the cap. Let me just put a little bit of tightening on that. Hopefully I don't have to fight to get it off. There's my old plug. Drain plug. So I'll go on there here. It's still dripping very slightly, but I don't have all day to wait for that to stop dripping. So I'm going to just wipe it down a little bit. This washer is the old washer. Do this by hand, eh? You do not want to cross thread this. You don't want to cross thread that. I don't have a lift. It would be nice to have a lift, especially at my age. You know, this ground-based operation here is a pain in the butt. It's a pain in the back. All right, so that's a little bit snug there. I'm going to go get the old torque wrench and torque these up. I don't need to show you how to do that. This one here is 10 Newton meters, and that one is 25 Newton meters. I'll just torque that up off camera, and that'll be it. Get this thing out of the way. No oil drips on the floor, so everything is clean, nice and clean. So far we've got the bottom part of the oil change done. Now we just got to add the oil, and this is the oil that I use. Good price from Amazon, and I got 4 of them. How much oil? It says 3.2 liters with an oil and filter change. So I'm going to just dump 3 liters in there, and then after that I'll just keep an eye on the sight glass and top it up to where it needs to be. And then I'll run the bike for a little while, turn it off, let it sit for a couple of minutes, and then check it again and do the final top up. I'd want to see it, I like to see it around 2/3 in the sight glass. Not in the middle, not right at the top of the circle, but maybe 2/3 way up after sitting for a couple of minutes, after you've run the bike for a couple of minutes. So this sight glass is not in the best position because it's right behind the brake, the rear brake, but I don't know if you can see that. I just dumped in, let me see if I can shine a little bit more light on this, or maybe from underneath. There you go. Probably you can see it a little bit better now. I just put in the 3 liters and it's almost up to the top of the circle. So we're going to run that bike for a little while and then turn it off and see where it settles. All right, bike has been run and it's been sitting for a couple of minutes. I don't know if you can see that again, but the oil, this is so bloody hard to read. The oil has gone down significantly. It started off by being totally out of the circle. Now it's coming back very slightly. I don't know if you can see that, but it's probably at the quarter of the height, I think, or maybe a fifth. But it's right about there. So I'm going to dump in that 0.1 and see where it reads. Okay, I put in about 200. Kind of hard to read because the numbers go up the bottle, so you can't know how much you're putting in because the numbers don't start at the top, they start at the bottom of the bottle. But if you can see that a little bit better, you can see that it's kind of like where I want it to be. So it's kind of 2/3 the way, 2/3 to 3/4 the way up the sight glass. Much prefer bikes that have dipsticks. This is dumb, this sight glass business. But anyway, that's what it is, and that's all I'm putting in. I don't want to overfill the oil, so it'll stay like that. So now what I'm going to do is do a little bit of a cleanup on this pan here. It's got a little dirt on the inside. I don't see the inside of this pan very often, so I'll do a little bit of cleanup. I took my my little steel sleeves off, and I'll probably wash this just to say that I got it done. But yeah, at least I'll clean that and put it back on, and then after that we'll be good to go. There's no leaks here. As you can see underneath here, there's no leak anywhere. No leak on the floor. So that looks tight. I did torque this to 10 Newton meters, and the plug there to 25. So that's good. Actually, I forgot to mention, the service light never did come on. It hadn't reached that point yet. With my BMW, when it's getting handy to the time where you've got to do the service, it puts up a little icon, but then you can dismiss the icon. But once the date or the miles have passed, then you can't dismiss the icon. The icon stays there. With this Triumph, it seems as though when the date or the miles have passed, then the icon comes on. I have no service light or anything like that, so I can't say that I'm going to reset it. Well, yeah, I'm resetting it, but I'm not dismissing it because it isn't there right now. All right, we just disconnected the dealer tool, and let's see what this says. Service, 6,000 miles. You see that? 3 October. So I confirmed that it is writing the date not American way, but I guess day, month, and year. So 3rd of October 2024, 180 days from now, 6,000 miles. So the service reminder is set. If I did have the icon, it would have been cleared. That's good. So that's it for this video, more or less. The 6,000 mile service is not done. I've still got a whole long list of things to go through. Like I mentioned before, I've got this spreadsheet. I'm going to go through all the checklist items for the 6,000 mile service. Principally, the next thing that I'm going to be checking on is the chain. I'm just going to check the chain tension. Get that done. The oil change is done. Everything else is pretty much working and in spec. I know that because I ride this bike every single day. So check the chain, the clutch slack, that kind of thing. I'll make one video for all of that, all of those checks all in one. And I'll get back to you. Now, what I wanted to show you was, before I go, this is the little bonus here. So this is the new washer that I was prepared to use. But the other washer was exactly in the same condition. So it had a little scoring. It had a little scoring on the face of the washer, but big whoop, you know. So I reused the washer. But look, I bought a whole bunch of washers off of the internet for the tracer oil plug washers. And maybe if I find the, so what I wanted to do is see if this is the same. So I'll take one of these out and do it by one hand. They look pretty darn the same, yeah? The holes, the outer diameter is the same. This is the tracer one. The hole is the same. I know the shank of the plug is smaller than that hole, so even if the hole is slightly off, it's not going to be a problem. So basically, I'm going to add this to this. It is set here, and I'm going to use these washers all together for the Tiger. So I've got enough washers to last me for a long time.